What's up YouTube? For tonight's video, we have a full Pokemon Attract team. This one is for Patreon. If you want your theme team done, you can check it out in the Patreon link in the video description. Pod Arena, this one is for you. Now there was 2 sets I had to do. The other 4 sets I was able to make up as long as I had the move Attract in them. Leave those feedback in the comment section, people, and those theme teams as well. Always appreciate it. Anyway, let's get to this one. If you do want to battle me, that's in the description of the video as well. I take battles on my chat at a random time every day. This was a battle against Roz. Now, I thought on this team, why not bring Garbodor for another Pokemon Attract team? I had a really cool set too. Now we have a Chespin and a Garbodor lead, Mr. Hanky the Christmas Poo, and a Garbodor. This is quite a steamy relationship. Anyway, so going for the Infestation on the Chespin. Now, I was wondering what Chespin could actually do to me, and it's going to go for the Spikes. It's going to be a Spikes lead. Now, the good thing about this is, I thought, well, it's probably not going to have a lot of moves to hit me really hard, so it might be able to get all the layers of Spikes up, but it's not going to really do too much apart from that. Anyway, so going for the Attract, I had to run Attract on all these Pokemon. Let me go over what this set was. Now, it's a special Garbodor, max health, max special attack with modest nature. Now, I had Belch on this set. Now, what Belch does is a poison type move. However, you need to consume a berry to use it. So when you try and select this move while you're battling, it won't actually select until you consume a berry. So I ran it with a Citrus Berry, since Citrus Berry activates earlier than all the other berries in the game, unless you have something like Gluttony, of course, which I don't. I've got Aftermath, and I just went for that. Unfortunately, it didn't do enough damage to me, and for Infestation, actually just took it out after this little bit. I had to speed this bit up. It was quite long. So anyway, Garbodor is going to take out the Chespin with Infestation only, and that relationship is now over. So now we have the Quacken coming in. Now the Quacken actually wrecked me. I don't think it was about 2 or 3 months ago. I don't know. I think it was by confusion. So I was like, I'm not sure if it's going to have confusion or not. What's it going to do this time? However, it's going to be the Psychium Z confusion against my Garbodor. I'm like, oh please. Please don't take me out. I'm going to be so salty. Anyway, so the Psyduck's getting a little bit... look at its face. It's so pissed. It's going to go for the Shattered Psych against my my Garbodor. Now, I went for Infestation because I wanted to actually... I was trying to live this one so I could get the Belch attack off on my Garbodor. Anyway, so yeah, Psyduck takes ping pong with my Garbodor. I live on 21 health, and now I get my Citrus Berry activation. That's giving me a little bit more health, and I can go for the Belch next turn. Now, I was hoping that the confusion it didn't actually confuse me, and then I hit myself with confusion because I was expecting it. I was definitely expecting that outcome. Anyway, so the Psyduck is going to go for the confusion this time, and that's super effective against my Garbodor. However, it's low base power, and it's coming from a Psyduck, so it didn't actually take me out. I don't get confused. I'm able to get Belch off, and that is the Quacken down. I had to duck for cover on that Z move, though. So with the Belch move, I really quite like it, but it probably would work best with the Pokemon with Gluttony, right? You can get that berry off really early, and probably someone with maybe with a bit of a better special attack stat, but it was fun to use. Anyway, so we have a Stunfisk coming in here that's going to take out my Garbodor. Stunfisk and Garbodor, man, in an Attract team. Speaking of which, I've got my own Stunfisk too, so it's like, this is really cool. We've both got a Stunfisk. So a little bit of damage from the spikes from my Stunfisk. Now, I went for a Z move here. Now, this was a cool strategy I came up with on Stunfisk. I didn't really get to show it much in this battle, but in the next one, I got to show it perfectly. So make sure you stick around for that one. I can give a more fuller explanation on how it goes. So going for the Attract on the opposing Stunfisk, it was quite funny because we had a Stunfisk and there was both a guy and a girl. So I was able to use the Attract on it. Then the other Stunfisk had Attract too. I was like, what? No! This can't be. So we both had a Stunfisk and we both had Attract. It was so funny. So anyway, so I was like, oh crap, what am I going to do here? Am I going to have to attack this thing? I was running a physical Stunfisk as well. Going for the Earthquake on the opposing Stunfisk, I actually get through the Infatuation, which is nice. So it's a 2-hit KO with Earthquake. So, okay, that's not too bad. Now the Eiffel 65 is going to go for a Curse. So I actually had Curse on my Stunfisk too. So we both had Attract and we both had Curse and we both had a Stunfisk. It was unbelievable. Anyway, so the defense of the opposing Stunfisk and the attack is going to go up too. So it's like, okay, so my Earthquake's probably not going to be taking this thing out probably not going to be able to take this out, right? So I've got to take this out before it covers or does anything like that, or it just takes me out in general. So I went for a Curse here to match it. Now this is where the battle got really long. I had to speed this one up. So basically what was happening here, we both just kept getting immobilized by Love. 2 Stunfisk, just, you know, they were making out in the field. We could not do anything. I was telling it to, you know, use Earthquake Stunfisk, but it just wanted to get that love. Anyway, so it's going to get the leftovers recovery. I finally get an Earthquake through, and it lives on like 2 health. And the Stunfisk is actually not going to go down. So I was like, oh, it's disappointing. So I needed one more Earthquake to take it out. However, I keep getting mobilized by love. Finally, the opposing Stunfisk uses Earth Power, and hello, Darkness, my old friend. I knew that was going to happen. It was looking really good for me at the start, like I was getting all the hits, and then the opposing Stunfisk got through. Anyways, I thought, well, I've got to finish this thing off now. It's got +1 in defense, but I had a Pokemon I thought could get around it. So this was my Skitty, a max speed, max attack Skitty with normalized. Now I had Fake Out on this. Now, instead of running usual set, I actually put Toxic Orb on this. So the idea was to go for the Fake Out, and while the opponent is getting flinched, you get the free activation from the Toxic Orb. Then I could go for Facade on the Stunfisk and take it out that way. Now, I also had Sucker Punch on this set because it's not really fast Pokemon, and I also had Attract on it too, so that was the idea. So I'd go for Fake Out. Then I'd probably go for Attract, or a lot of time I was going for Fake Out Facade. That worked rather nicely. You could also run Foresight on it too, because Normalize ability makes all your moves normal. So stuff like Thunder Wave would be a normal type move. So quite interesting. So now we have Rosnet coming out here, and I'm going to go for Facade. Actually outsped it, which is not much of a surprise. The Australian internet is pretty slow. Now the Vikavolt going to take me out. The T-Bolt, I mean, it could have taken him out with like a Thunder Shock. It wouldn't have mattered. Anyway, so Skitty is down, but it's all good. I'm going to swap in Charge Bug. Now, this set was one of the ones suggested that I had to use. It was an interesting set. Let me go over what it was anyway, in case you didn't actually read it at the beginning of the video. So this was the Iron Defense Attract Toxic Mud Slap Charger Bug with the ability Battery and Everlight. So it was a bulky little Pokemon. The idea was to go for the Attract, then go for Mud Slap. Now, what Mud Slap does, it drops the accuracy of the opponent by 1 stage. So you can basically keep spamming it, and then they can't lay a hit on you, and then you can go for the Attract, keeping, keep them infatuated, go for the Toxic, and Toxic basically takes them out. It also has Iron Defense. The one thing about this set that was made it not as easy to use, the opponent could actually swap out. So if it had like a trapping move or something like that, it would be much more potent. Anyway, so now we have the Typhlosion coming in. This bit I actually sped up too because it went for a while. So I was worried about this Typhlosion, right? It was a big worry to my team because I had Wailord and Charge Bug, which would get wrecked by it, because the Wailord was actually a Whirlpool Toxic trapping set. Anyway, so going for the Toxic on the Vikavolt, I didn't want to swap. I had nothing really to swap into. Before I almost swapped into Charge Bug, I'm guessing that was why the Flash Cannon came my Wailord's way. Anyway, so we have the Vikavolt going down to the Toxic and the Whirlpool. Now, Whirlpool is kind of cool. We can trap them in and do stab damage as well. It wasn't doing much damage in the sun. The main role of it is just to trap the opponent. Anyway, so Vikavolt's going to go down. Now, the Typhlosion is going to come back in here. So I really had to get rid of this Typhlosion. It was a big worry. Now, I had the Sun to use Solar Beam. Now, my last 2 Pokemon were both weak to it, right? So I was thinking, how am I going to get around this? So I swapped in Wailord for some bait, right? Because I knew the Typhlosion would probably go for the Solar Beam. So I knew that I had Rest and Chesto Berry on this set, so I thought, I know I can take one, right? Because I'm bulky. So I went for the Rest, burn up my Chesto Berry, and let that Toxic rack up a little bit on the Typhlosion. So that's cool. I'm back to where I started. Now, this was the Scummy Fisher's Sheer Cold set. This time I swapped out Warring and went into Charger Bug so I could take the Solar Beam. Even though I took a little bit of extra with the Stealth Rocks, I thought it was worth it because the Toxic was racking up a damage. Now, I have the Warring backup with ability with Thick Fat, so I thought, let's swap Charger Bug out again and go back into Warring to tank the Fire move on the Warring. I know I took a little bit, it was Stealth Rocks, but I definitely think it weighted up though, like out of all that damage. It was definitely a good decision because I was able to tank the attacks from the Typhlosion, and the poison was able to take out the Typhlosion too, which had Solar Beam and I had Flamethrower, which could both take out my Pokemon. Anyway, so I actually got rid of the Sunlight too, so the Typhlosion could not keep spamming Solar Beam over and over again. So the last Pokemon is the Timber. I'm yelling out Timber. Anyway, sorry guys, I just cut down a tree. So we have the Warring here with the Drain Punch. Unfortunately, my Sheer Cold or Fissure missed. This is a Sheer Cold, Fissure, Rest, Attract Walrein. It was so scummy. Anyway, so the last Pokemon I had was a Charge Bug. So I thought, I've got no recovery, right, but I might be able to go for the Attract and go for the Mud Slap to try and keep myself in the game. Speeding it up once more, this part went for very long. So I attracted the Timber. Now the Timber actually got knocked off my Everlight, so it was really bad. I just hang on another poison jab. I didn't get poisoned, which is nice too. So now I started to go for the Mud Slap and try and snowball that accuracy drops on the Timber, which is good. I was starting to hit it with, that was 2 or 3 in a row, so I was like, this is good. I'm going to be able to, I might be able to get around this. Like if I got as many up as I possibly could, then go for the Toxic, that'd be really great. So I got my 5th or 6th Mud Slap up against the Timber, and it got through with the poison jab. No, but very good battle. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I tried to go for the charge of my clutch there at the end, but it didn't happen. I was going to get that 6 Mud Slaps up right, get the Attract up, and get the Toxic up, then start spamming Iron Defense. I thought if I got 3 up, I actually might be able to live a poison jab really badly on minimum damage. Anyway, so we have a battle against Tio on my chat, using Skitty as the lead this time. Now, I get to use that Stunfisk strategy to its fullest extent in this video, so make sure you stick around. You might actually really like it. Actually, it was probably my favorite set out of all these. So, going for the fake out on Elekid, but I had my Toxic Orb, but it didn't activate because of the static. No! But I still got the boost from Facade. It was just annoying para hacks that, that kind of messed me around. Anyway, so the Elekid's going to go for the Volt, which does a lot of damage to Skitty. I was thinking, ooh, it could even be Specs or Scarf. So we have the Cacturne coming in. I get paralyzed. I'm like, no, that would have done really, really nice damage to Cacturne. Cacturne isn't a super bulky Pokemon. Then I went for the Sucker Punch to get some damage on it. So after seeing the damage of Sucker Punch and Facade, I was like, yeah, that definitely would have taken it out. It's going to go for a Smelling Salts, which is quite ironic, right? Because Smelling Salts actually gets a double boost in power if you're paralyzed. So I don't know if they set that up or that was part of the strategy, but man, I'm so salty about that. So now we have the Garbodor coming in. As you know, this is the belt strategy. If I could get that off, that'd be really nice. And I thought I could go for Infestation or Focus Blast. Cacturne is going to swap out now. Now we have the Scum Tank coming in. So I was like, oh, it's called Scum Tank, so something scummy is going to be about this set. I just know it. Anyway, so this bit I sped up too. So now we have the Attract on the Scumfist. Garbodor is getting some love, people. This was a Fury Swipe set, so I was like, as soon as I seen Fury Swipes, I'm thinking, maybe they've got King's Rock attached and maybe they're going to try and, like, flinch me or something like that. Anyway, so Fury Swipes finally lands and I get flinched by the freaking King's Rock. I'm like, oh, this is going to be rage-inducing. Anyway, so the good thing is I had the Infestation up doing damage at least, and the Fury Swipes actually missed 3 times. So I was very, very lucky to hit 3 times, but it actually hit 5 times and got the flinch. So it was like a stroke of really excellent luck, then a stroke of really, really bad luck. So 2 opposite ends of the scale there. So the Scum Tank is down. Now we have the Elekid coming in. So I was like, I'm going to probably be able to live this attack like really badly, get my Citrus Berry off, then go for Belch. It's going to go for the Psychic. So I was like, I should just live this one. It does a little bit more damage than I thought it would. So I was like, okay, it's definitely Specs. That's definitely a Specs Elekid. So now I bring in Stunfisk. I thought, this is a prime opportunity. Like, Elekid is not going to stay in for a Stunfisk, and I get the swap, which is nice. So this is what I wanted to do earlier, or was trying to do in all my battles. So Cacturne's going to come in, which isn't the greatest matchup for the strategy, but I didn't have much to work with. So I went for my Curse. So that gave me a +2 in attack, a +2 in defense, and a negative in speed. So as I mentioned earlier, this was a sweeping set, so I didn't want any attacks, speed drop, sorry. So you're probably wondering how I did that. So now I had Attract and had the Normalium Z. A lot of the Z moves, right, have an effect, right, that says return all drop stats to normal. So I thought, hey, I can make use of that, right, and go for the Curse with the Attract to get a speed boost, like get rid of my speed and get extra bulk and extra attack, and then go for the Thunder Wave to make them really slow, and then I could outspeed them, and then I could be infatuated at the same time, and then I could go for Stab Earthquake. It was a really cool set, and like, you just never really make use of the, the Z move effect, like, all the stats return to normal. You could probably run something like Superpower or Leaf Storm, but I kind of found them a little bit redundant because you could do something like White Herb or anything like that and just not be locked into a Z move. So I hope you guys enjoyed that strategy. It was quite fun to come up with. Anyway, so going for the Earthquake on the Cacturne, I knew that I wouldn't be able to take it out because it resists it. Still does pretty good damage, so I was quite happy with that. It's a 3-hit KO. Now the Cacturne gets paralyzed, which is really, really good. So the good thing about this, right, even if you're versing a Pokemon that it's going to resist the Earthquake, right, it's still a paralyze and there's still an Attract happening, so they still don't have a very good chance of attacking. Anyway, so going for the Earthquake on the Cacturne, it's very close to a 3-hit KO and a 4-hit KO. It was going to all depend whether the Cacturne was going to be able to get out of this, and it got immobilized by Love. So it's like, okay, so it's going to come down to this one. I could get a minimum roll or a max roll with the, and because obviously the leftovers recovery really put in that range. So now going for the Earthquake on the Cacturn, and it was just enough to take it out. I was like, yes! I got my strategy off, and that was so good. I did against a Pokemon that I wouldn't actually win against. So, obviously, the Paralyze and the Attract work very, very good there. That Normalium Z Attract, people. You got to try it. Even try and do it on like another move. Like, make use of those Z moves no one uses. You just got to try it. Anyway, so Bufflin's going to come in, does a little bit under half health, so I was quite impressed with that. Bufflin's very bulky. Now it's going to be a special set that runs Surf. I've actually bumped into this one before, and I lived on 2 health. I was like, damn, son. Now I'm able to go for another Earthquake. I thought, I'm not going to play any games to go for Thunder Wave and Attract. I thought, let's get some damage on this thing. It misses the kill, but I was like, that's pretty good. It's in range for me to revenge kill. However, it's going to be able to eat a berry and get lots of its health back. So I was like, that's all right. I was able to get rid of its berry and do some nice damage to it. Booflin's going to take me out with the Surf, which is cool. It's nothing like seeing a bull riding away. So now I've got Stunfisk down, Garbodor down, and Skitty down, but I still got 3 other Pokemon left. Now, this would be a prime opportunity for me to bring in my Wailord. So this was the Toxic Whirlpool Wailord. The trapping set with the Toxic also has Attract and Swagger. So there was really no recovery, but you're really banking on Attract, infatuating them, and Swagger making them hit themselves in confusion. I mean, it did get a nerf, but it still runs fairly well with Attract. Like, there isn't the greatest chance for them to attack, at least. And you also got the Whirlpool doing nice damage, and the Toxic racking up too. So finally the Bufflin goes down to that one. Wailord gets through it, which is cool. Also, it was a special Bufflin, which helped too. So now we have Elekid coming in. So I was very, very scared of this Pokemon. The last couple of my members of my team were really weak against it. Save Charger Bug. That was my really only swap in against this thing. Anyway, so now it's going to go for the T-Bolt. I've got the Everlight damage. Now, the problem with this set was, since there was no recovery, it would get easily worn down. So even if it hit me with like repeated Thunderbolts on the swap in, I was eventually going to go down. That's what I was scared of. So it's going to go for another T-Bolt there. So obviously its choice, it would have gone for another move otherwise. It gets a crit there, which is a little bit annoying. Now I'm going to put the... Oh, the dogs are awake. Goody. They're going to start jumping on me while I record. Anyway, so going for the Toxic on the Elekid. That's good because I really need to take that thing out. However, the Elekid is going to swap out. There's nothing it can do. If it wasn't choice, it would have gone for Volt Switch, right? So that was the key indicator there. So now we have Seeking coming in. I went for the Attract on the swap. That's not too bad because I got that on the Seeking. Now I can either go for the Toxic or just the Toxic and the Mud Slap attack to try and drop its accuracy and try and take it out from there. However, it's going to be a special Seeking, so that sucks. I'm going to go for the Toxic. I've got the Attract on the Toxic. I've got the guys. I've got the Attract on the Toxic. Anyway, so Seeking is going to get poisoned, and it can still attack me with the special set. As I said, I've got no way to actually heal myself, and I was banking on this Mud Slap. You're basically, with this set, you're banking on that Mud Slap, just making them not hit you at all. Anyway, so swapping in Wailord, I've got Water Veil, so I can't be burned either. Plus, I resist that. Now it's going to go for a Mud Shot, get a crit on me. Whirlpool lands, which is really cool. Now I thought, well, if I can get another attack on the Seeking, if I can land like a Mud Shot on me, that'd be cool. Get my berry back, but it avoids it. I was like, oh, my good luck turned into bad luck. However, Seeking is going to go down there, which is cool. So all we've got now is the Elekid left and one other Pokemon. Even if I got that berry left, I think I probably would have gone down to a Volt Switch on this thing, or unless it went for the T-Bolt. It would have probably had to go for a T-Bolt, but I was quite confident even with the Wiki Berry, I would have not lived that T-Bolt, or they wouldn't have gone for Volt Switch, they would have gone for T-Bolt. Anyways, so the last Pokemon is Maractus. Nice to see Maractus being used, and I've got Charger Bug and I've got the Walrein left, which is quite funny. Those are the 2 Pokemon suggested. So now I went for the Toxic on this one. Now we're going to have the Maractus going for a Z move. It's going to be Flying Z Maractus. I was like, oh no, this is not good because I'm on low health. I've got no recovery. I couldn't really swap into Walrein either because this thing can carry a lot of grass type moves. It can carry like Giga Drain, like Wood Hammer. It's a Pokemon that can run very you never know what it's going to do. It can set up spikes. It's an interesting Pokemon. Anyway, so Charger Bug's going to go down to that. There wasn't much I could do there. It's not like I could have swapped into Walrein. Now Walrein has got the Fissure and the Fissure and the Sheer Cold. So I needed one of them to hit. Now it's going to go for the Wood Hammer. I love that animation so much. It does really huge damage to me. Does a lot of recoil to itself. Fissure lands, baby, and that cactus is going to basically go to the core of the earth. So the last Pokemon we've got is the Elekid. That's going to be able to outspeed me, and that's going to be able to take out my Walrein. But it was a very close battle. I hope you guys enjoyed both of these. I was definitely out of all these strategies, the Stunfisk one was the funnest to use. I didn't actually mind that I lost both of these battles. I just thought they were the most entertaining ones, and I had fun doing both of them too. Make sure you stick around for the bloopers, people. There's something quite funny there. Peace.
So I can direct your call to the right place in just a few words. Please tell me the reason for your call.
You fucked up my physical Stunfisk Z-Attract sweep. Forward that to customer service.